This episode is brought to you by regret and bad choices.
Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. Objects, I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. Jesus Christ, just bit my fucking lip as I'm doing the opening.
Wow.
Well, okay, so I wasn't even going to bring it up tonight because nobody fucking cares, but it's Thursday night. It's a quick night, trying to eat real quick. And I'm like kind of making fun of myself because I ate so goddamn quick. I decided to eat part of my lip. Not bad.
Right.
But yeah, as I doing this little fucking opening, my fucking lip got in the way. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I bit my lip. So anyhow, I ended up bringing it up inadvertently. I didn't mean to. So, okay.
All right.
But this was from a couple of weeks ago that we were talking about it, and this quote came up in my memories. So neither one of us could figure out exactly how this thing went. So, live in such a way that you would not be ashamed to sell your parrot to the town gossip.
Yes. Will Rogers. Yes. It came up in the readings this week.
Was it in the readings?
Yeah.
Oh, so you know what? I probably even missed it. I must have missed it even in the readings because I copied it and posted it on my Facebook page years ago.
All right.
So that's maybe I did see it in the reading too. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I went, oh, hey, there it is.
Yeah, it was just funny. I copied it right away. Maybe that was. I was thinking it came up as a memory, but fuck, I can't even remember where I reached it from.
Maybe it was an actual memory from a couple of days ago.
You know what? The thing, I'll take it either way. And there's more than one, more than two, probably more than 100 reasons why there's two of us on this podcast. But that's one of them. I can't seem to remember shit. I'm like, hey, look what this happened. You're like, is it a fucking reading today?
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, let me rewind. Good goddamn thing we didn't start yet. Okay, so
right.
This was in one of the readings this week. And since we talked about it, it's by Will Rogers.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, I misquoted it as Mark Twain. It was Will Rogers. Yes, a few days ago. Because I read it in the morning and I went, oh, hey, look at that.
And you actually misquoted it as Mark Twain? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, so, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. If I've got the good memory here, we're both in trouble.
Well, I mean, it is something that you said. I do remember some things. It just it's the weirdest part, and these things, and we talked about it, I mean, number of times with these readings, is that I know they stick because I remember stuff and things, things come out of my mouth and I don't know where they came from type of thing, or they're in my head and I don't know where they came from. But the problem is it's recycling that information. Like when I was talking about the idea of trying to do a book review, for instance, when I read Demi Moore's book, I liked it, not read, listened to it.
Yeah.
There's not a goddamn way in the world I could go back and I can't do a book review. I mean,
we're going to need you to do a book report.
Well, if I make notes, like when I was in school and stuff like that, I got really good at, So when I was training, and I'm not, this is just honest to God, I was really good at training because I could do headlines and outlines and talk through slides and stuff like that. All I
Mm-hmm.
had to do was see the slide, and I knew what I needed to talk to. I didn't need everything written down. I didn't need to
Right.
memorize. It was there, and anytime I did a presentation, I would do almost like if you look in the front of the book, the table of contents. That's the way I would do my speaking engagements,
Yeah.
whatever I did,
Right.
because I knew at the top, once somebody fed me the line or I
Mm-hmm.
read the line, I'm fine. But if I have to sit down, I couldn't recite something. I need a visual. I need some sort of visual, whether it's written or an actual picture. My head's all fucked up, you know. I mean,
Yeah. Really?
yeah. I mean, I know that's not a surprise, but it's just I learn and I retain and I can regurgitate information in a weird way, you know.
Ah.
I'm not. I was never good at tests. I could cram, but then all the information was gone. Sooner or later, it would come back and I could build on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was this. I never had that long term that just I could recite all the shit. It's fucking weird. It was debilitating in some cases, you know, trying to take a test in school. But you know, I got through it. You know, I didn't do
Mm,
terrible. You know,
right.
but now I got to
Yeah.
try to get through a podcast. And I don't know where I read shit or where I remember shit from or don't remember stuff from.
Right.
So
Yes. Yeah. Real life.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so one more thing we before we actually get to a reading,
Mm-hmm.
our buddy Tim from Maine, the one that
Yes.
obviously has been our newest listener over the last few
Mm-hmm.
months.
Right.
His 40th anniversary was on June 10th. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So congratulations to our friend Tim 2 days ago.
Yes.
If you're listening to this weekend, obviously it's going to be 3-4 days ago, but either way, June 10th, Tim from Maine got 40 years, 40 years
Damn.
sober. So I know.
That
Yeah.
is impressive.
Yep. He
I
sent the
wonder how he
email.
did it.
Probably one day at a time, but he had sent
Ah.
he sent a picture of his coin and stuff too. You know,
Oh,
he did.
cool.
It's like I think he said every 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
he buys himself a coin. And I told him, I'm like, yeah, told him what our story is. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Mom and Kathy, but now, you know, obviously
Right.
Kathy buys us the coins.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he treats himself to a specialty coin, I guess every 5 years. So you got to figure he's got 8 of them now.
Right.
See, I can do math. I can do math.
Yeah.
I can do some things sometimes. So, but yeah. So I wanted to make sure I got that out
Absolutely.
before I forgot about it. So yeah, congratulations to Tim, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, obviously one of our new-ish listeners, and he's one of the ones that came over from listening to Sober Speak when Gary was talking to the gentleman on Sober Speak. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I got some other things. I got I got a couple of articles. Oh, I got to think about that too. I went to the doctor this week. I want to tell you about that. Um, all typical stuff, nothing really out of the ordinary, but I don't know. I mean, I think I got a couple of new things, but I got a whole list of shit that we can talk about. And
All right.
Founders Day wrap up, we can do that too.
Mm-hmm. We can do that as well.
Hang on, what Founders Day? Is it apostrophe S, right?
Yeah. Possessive.
I just fucking
It's
around.
their day.
It is their day, the founders. Okay, so back to business. It's almost 7 minutes into the podcast. What do you say we do a reading that I either won't remember or I'll forget shortly?
Right. Well, yes. Or both.
Yeah, or both.
Why is it got to be either or?
Treat yourself.
Right. All right. Well, okay, let me preface this a little bit. My home group on Sunday, the lead was pretty good. He was a, I don't know, younger-ish guy, I don't know, 30, somewhere around there. Yes, that is younger to me. And
Right.
right. And lead was good. He had a couple years, and it was all, but he kept making this point over and over, and I don't even think he realized it. And I kind of pointed it out to him in my comment afterwards, and it was about honesty. And so I actually looked up honesty in the books and I probably read probably 8 or 9 readings, and none of them quite hit exactly home, but this was the closest I could get to my point. So we'll read it and then we'll discuss it.
All right.
All right. So this is actually from Keep It Simple. It is January 13th, and here we go. The junkie can never start to cure himself until he recognizes his true condition. Malcolm X. Now we know what the problem is. Now we can do something about it. The truth of our problem is we can't handle alcohol or other drugs. They handle us. They control us. The steps ask us to face the truth, and the truth sets us free. What a wonderful gift. We feared the truth, but now it is our friend. It's a relief. Facing the truth means we're honest, and honesty is our best friend in recovery. It's like a cozy fire on a winter's night. Try not to laugh. Honesty is how we get well. It's also how we will. It is also how. God damn! It is also what will keep us well. Do I truly believe that I can't use alcohol or other drugs? Prayer for the day. Higher power, help me see my illness for what it is. It's my enemy. Help me see that honesty is my best friend. Action for the day. Today, I'll take 15 minutes to think about what my true condition was when I was drinking and drugging, and I'll think about what my true condition is now.
All right, so I guess let's start with that. Your true condition while you were drinking, and your true condition now. I'm thinking this is going to be relatively easy answers, but
Right.
Mike, what do you think?
Well, let's see. I couldn't think straight. I was completely selfish and self-centered. And I was a slave. Is that simple enough?
Yeah, that about covers it.
Yeah.
And then compared to now, just take the reverse of all those things you just said, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, I'm I'm free and I can think relatively clearly, and I don't even remember what the third one was now. So apparently not that clearly. I said relatively. I qualified it. Honest, man.
Right. And the thing with it, you said slave. You were a slave.
Well,
And
no, that was the first one. I went backwards. I'm free now. I don't
oh,
remember
okay.
what the goddamn third one was, and it was in the middle, and I don't know. Maybe it
You
was
want me to
Malcolm.
pause this, download the whole thing, go back, listen
Yes,
to it?
right.
Well,
Let's do that.
yeah, you and I got nothing better to do on a Thursday night than take an extra half hour to figure out what word you said in there. But
Yes.
people are laughing at us now because
They are.
honestly, everyone
Because
heard
everybody
it.
else remembers because it was 2 fucking seconds ago.
But you kind of proved my point of what I was just talking about. When we were opening up there, that's my life. You just experienced my life there in that
Wow.
little sentence. But so congratulations, welcome.
Thanks.
I saved a seat for you. But I mean, yeah, when you were saying all those things, the first word that I thought of, for the now part of it is freedom.
Yes.
And that's we talk about that all the time. And you mentioned that,
Mhm.
you said that when I was in Wisconsin, and at one time, enjoy the freedom, and
Yep.
that's one of the coolest things that you said a lot of cool things to me, but that was one of them. Because it was so simple, and that's what I need. I need these simple little nuggets of information and just
Mhm.
statements that that the things that I always try to complicate, always.
Mhm.
Just down to the point where, hey, all this stuff, and you're looking around liquor stores, and I can remember all the enjoy the freedom. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that makes it easy. And yeah, being, I thought of the other thing when you were, kind of going through that and even afterwards, but um, I was frantic all the time, about
Mhm.
everything,
Right.
just down to the simple, necessity of, do I have enough? Where can I go? What am I going to do? All those sort of things. And I never ran
Mhm.
out. I've been clear about that.
Right.
But if I'm going someplace or somebody's going to be around, how can I make sure that I can still drink,
Mhm.
and hide it? I just did big air
Mhm.
quotes,
Right.
and not make it so evident, that I'm
Mhm.
walking into the kitchen or into the bathroom or wherever the fuck I'm walking, or
Uh-huh.
downstairs, and
Uh-huh.
in that, just being frantic about everything, and what's going to happen? Am I going to lose my job? Do I have enough money? Oh,
Mhm.
well, no, I don't, because I just spent it all on fucking booze.
Right.
God, all of that stuff. And yeah, the condition prior was just, I mean, what would be, what's a one word we could put on our condition? Is just sad,
Yeah, that's a good one.
pathetic,
Right. Yeah. Ill,
ill.
sick. Yes. Yeah, fucking mess, man.
Right. Yeah, and it's boy, I tell you, and it's thinking back, I am there. There's once again, there's a lot of reasons that I enjoy doing this podcast,
Mhm.
and going back and talking about these things and bringing all of these things back to the surface in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
because there's never been an episode where we brought something up and got depressed over it.
Right.
I couldn't. I was trying to think if we ever got like sad. I mean, our mom died, and both of us
Mm-hmm.
choked up a little bit between a
True.
couple of episodes. But I mean, that was because we cared about somebody who's no longer
Mm-hmm.
here. But
Right.
when we're talking about, I tell you I listened? Where's I go? I don't remember where I was driving. Some fucking place.
Mm.
I went back and I listened to not all of it, but probably about the first, I don't know, probably 30 minutes or so, maybe 40 minutes of that our episode, the first 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the audio is it's so painful, but it's and this is not like a pat ourselves on the back type of thing, but it was good content. I mean, that was like
Mm-hmm.
our fourth episode,
Right.
and it was just some good information, some good stuff that we were just getting out there. And I really enjoy that we get to do that and talk about these things. And it's always it's not this negative shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I appreciate being able to. It's therapeutic, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at it that way necessarily, but I think it is, right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Opening up, sharing, doing, being open
Right.
about whatever. Yeah. Right. So, all right. So, yeah. So the honesty thing, right? Like I
Right.
said, I was looking up honesty because it was kind of top of mind. Um, Clearly, it's one of the biggies. I mean, it's a fucking absolute, right? Um, and I mean, we come in, especially early on, and we, we hear this honesty thing, right? Well, so, being simple and not understanding what the fuck they're talking about completely, we can only absorb and relate it however we can. And generally it's, we've been lying for so long about everything
Right.
that we hear the word honesty and we go, oh, so I've got to stop lying, which of course we do. But I don't think it's talked about enough. And like I said, in this lead, he kept, he was telling his story and he kept basically talking about how he was deceiving himself, on all different kinds of situations and whatever. And, I'm sitting there, I'm listening to his lead and blah, 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 blah. It's a lead. And, and it just kept hitting me that how fucking dishonest we are. And yes, of course we are, because we lie to everybody all the time, but we're lying to ourselves and we don't even, I mean, we believe these lies that we tell ourselves. I think that's one of the huge problems that we had. Yes, heroin's a fucking problem and vodka's a fucking problem and crack is a fucking problem. But I mean, again, it's said all the time, you take that stuff away and hey, guess what? There's still a whole shitload of problems left. And I think one of the big ones is that we we lie to ourselves and we believe it. That's a huge fucking problem. It was for me. I don't know about you. Um,
Right. Oh no, I'm right there with you. I agree.
right.
I agree.
So, yeah. So, that's, and again, it comes back to first step shit, powerless. And, we believe we have control over the substances. We believe that we're handling it. And clearly we're not, and we hadn't been for a long fucking time, but we truly believe that we are. That's some fucked up shit, man. So if you're newer or you're not so new or whatever, and you see honesty, and I remember, early on, they people, sponsors and people around us were like, yeah, yes, you got to work the steps and whatever, but the absolutes are important and start working on honesty. I remember clearly that was one of the first suggestions given to me. Start being honest. And again, like I said, that first 30 days coming back to it, it was like, okay, stop lying to other people. Well, fuck, man, stop lying to yourself. Because I still was, and I'm still very capable of it. I think that's a huge thing when you hear honesty all the time, and it's like, get down to it, man. Yeah, don't tell people bullshit lies because that's just dumb, and then you gotta then you gotta remember them, and clearly we're not good at that. And, and that's a pain in the ass, and it's a lot easier to just tell the truth to other people. But stop fucking lying to yourself and stop believing the bullshit that you believed for so long. You have no control. Your life is fucked up. Start believing that. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to bring up the topic of honesty, and bring up the fact that it's, yes, of course, it's stop lying to other people, but stop fucking lying to yourself, man.
Right. And I'm glad you did. And I'm glad, obviously not only that you heard the lead, but brought that topic up because, I guess in thinking about it, with all those things you were going through, that's why I said, I mean, I'm right there with you. I agreed with every
Mm-hmm.
every word, every sentence, every idea that you had. But I mean, really, when we talk about honesty, we don't, even on here, when we talk about honesty, we don't really
Mm-hmm.
talk like you just did.
Yeah.
We don't get into that deep part of it, and it's kind of a, I don't want to say, well, it's a given. Yeah, don't lie to to your friends, your family. Don't lie to your
Right.
boss. Little white lies, all these little things, they hurt.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's the obvious part, but yeah, stop lying to yourself. I mean, whether it's okay,
Stop
yeah,
believing the fucking lies.
well, and that's the other thing that you just said, and I can't think of any examples, but I know that especially early
Mm.
on, as you start, kind of working through and making amends, and whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case is, whatever the situation is, and starting to realize what exactly happened there,
Right.
I mean, what part of that was true? And I can, in a lot of the, whether it's an amends, keeping it kind of vague rather than going into the details, of like, I don't know what part of this was actually true. What was I lying about? And that was the
Mm-hmm.
thing of it, is believing my own lies,
Yeah.
believing that, I mean, the simple things, I suppose, like, I'm okay, I'm not hurting anyone, all those sort of things. But
Mm-hmm.
all this web of deceit that we were just weaving all the time. It's crazy. But that reminded me too, forgiving ourselves, because that was a tough
Mm-hmm.
one for me, a tough concept for it. But yeah, being honest with myself, and even to this day, and that's the other thing I thought about when you were talking about it, is that it was really hard for me to be honest about my emotions and how I feel,
Mm-hmm.
in a general sense, with people, just any people,
Right.
but also in, in recovery rooms and stuff like that. Like, that's telling somebody I truly don't know, or I don't understand, or
Right.
I'm afraid, or I'm fearful of this, or, yeah, it's oh, how you doing? I'm doing fucking wonderful. No, I'm not. I
Right.
got some shit going on, and I don't know why. I can't even remember the number of, there was things that hit me, 3 years, 5 years. I know, I remember I
Mm-hmm.
was in Madison one time, a couple of times I called you. I'm like, I don't know why this is fucking me up, but it is,
Mm-hmm.
and you and I have talked about these things, um, and that's something that I never ever talked about. So same thing, like you said, being new, or if you're not new, stop lying to
Mm-hmm.
yourself. But the other thing, I guess, to expand on that just a tad, is that make sure that you have somebody that you can talk to
Right.
about this shit within you, And I mean, granted, if people want to go to therapy, feel free, go to fucking therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever works for people, I'm sure I could benefit from it. I just
Right.
don't, everything's okay right now.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a boat in the middle of a nice pond, and it's sunny and the water's all glassy.
Yep.
I don't need to make fucking waves at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If something gets fucked up, first person I'm going to go to probably is you.
Right.
I might talk to Kathy about something, and I think that hopefully, if I'm really fucked up about something, maybe somebody's going to say, "Jesus, dude, you got to go fucking talk to somebody."
Right.
But that's the point. I got to have somebody to go to first, which
Yeah.
is, that was my point.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah. Again, we talked plenty about it last week. The we of the program. None of this shit we can do by ourselves. We need other people. We just do. Don't always particularly like it, but but it's a fact. That's, again, one of those lies that we tell ourselves that we truly believe. I can handle it. Well, fuck, I can't.
Right.
Clearly. Yeah, my life is fucking unmanageable. Hey, guess what? Still is.
Well, and it goes back to the freedom part of it. It is very freeing, to not have to be, all you. You know, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be all us.
Right.
It's wonderful to be able to lean on somebody else and ask for help. And whether it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just that you can't physically do something, you know,
Right.
I know my limitations. You know, whether
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I don't need to even give examples. Whatever I'm doing, I know my limitations.
Right.
If I need some help on the physical side of things, I'm going to ask somebody, or I'm going to tell them,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I can't do this shit anymore.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
can you help me do this?
Right.
Because I mean, I can assist, but you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't do this
Yeah.
anymore, you know?
Here's $20. Carry this fucking thing because I can't anymore.
Yeah, and it was funny with I guess I just thought about what Derek moved and stuff like that. I mean,
Ugh.
I carried some heavy shit that time, and I had this. I think that was at the time I had. I don't remember. It was well, who knows? My shoulder seems to always be fucked up at
Hmm.
certain times, and I think it
Mm-hmm.
was at that time.
Sure.
And it was just more fucked up after I got done. But
Mm-hmm.
if I truly wouldn't have been able to do it, if anything would have felt weird when I picked it up, I would have been like, "Fuck this, man! I
Yeah.
can't do this." You know, just
Right.
can't. You know,
Yeah. Again, but that's part of being honest with yourself, knowing your limitations. Yeah,
right?
which sucks, you know,
Yeah.
but but again, then you're not gonna, it's a great example. Then you're not gonna fucking hurt yourself by lying to yourself and believing the lie. I can do this. No, you fucking can't.
Yeah, either you're going to hurt yourself one way or the other. Either you're going to
Yeah.
hurt yourself mentally or you're going to hurt
Yeah.
yourself physically. And neither one is. I mean, yeah, the physical stuff. I mean, that's bad enough. But
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want my emotionally I don't want to be in
Right.
fucking turmoil. I mean,
Yeah.
that can be worse. I mean, the physical
Sure.
pain. Take some ibuprofen and take it easy for a minute. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the fucking mental. That's another thing too. Back to the prior to just the mental anguish of everything.
Yeah.
Life was just heavy,
Yeah.
and life wasn't heavy. I mean, everything I was doing, I made my life really heavy.
Yeah, right. Because you're fucking carrying all this bullshit by yourself.
Yeah, stacking more on there, going, hey.
Uh-huh.
It's give me some more bullshit. I got my own
Yes.
bullshit I'm building. Yeah, let's bring some bullshit over
I'm
here too.
manufacturing bullshit to
Right.
pile on myself.
I don't have enough bullshit. Let's take some of that bullshit over there too. Yeah, but seriously, I'm glad you brought that up because I mean, just the simplest things in the reading. I mean, talking about truth is our friend, honesty is our
Yes.
best friend.
Mm-hmm.
See the illness for what it is. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
my scribble on there.
Right.
When I was talking about alcohol and drugs right in the beginning, that they handle us.
Yeah.
There was more to that too, but that was the first thing I wrote down. And God, if that isn't the fucking truth,
Yeah.
I can handle it. No, you can't. You're being
You're being
handled.
handled. Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
I'm fine. I am in complete control here.
Right? Yeah, I'm a good shape. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that bad at standing in the mirror at 36 years old. Yeah, I figured I'd give it another 5 years to take a whirl on that just to make sure I was that bad. If I wasn't that bad, I made sure I got myself that
Yeah,
bad.
exactly.
And I didn't disappoint in badness. That's for goddamn sure. But Jesus Christ, man, it's just again, I shake my head a little bit, but I mean, I'm not embarrassed about any of these things.
Mm-mm.
I'm happy that like I said before, I mean, I'm so glad that we talk about these things and we can look at them with some some brightness because
Yeah.
well, two things. I mean, it's obviously learning from our past. We can't regret it anyhow. It says so in that
Mm-hmm.
book we have to read.
I read that somewhere. Yes.
But on top of that too, all this stuff you said it. All this stuff has worth.
Mm-hmm.
All of these goddamn things that we did, all these fucking issues.
Yep.
Things that we just blew up in our lives, they have real worth, these
Mm-hmm.
days. And man, that's just, I tell you what, as we're talking about this, I'm kind of kicked back in my chair a little bit. I'm feeling very just overall relaxed because I'm thinking about how fucked up I was,
Yep.
16 years ago at this
Yeah.
time, 15 years ago at this time,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it's just a fucking
Again,
mess.
took away the substance, and month and whatever, some days into it, and we're still all fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, yeah, I mean, at this time on June 12th of 2010,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't skating through life yet. I wasn't. I certainly wasn't living my best life, as the kids say.
Didn't have that peace and serenity yet.
Oh, I don't even know. I think I knew how to spell either one of those things
Right.
yet. Probably didn't even know how to speak them.
Yeah.
But no, really, I mean, that was a good. It was a good reading, and but
Mm-hmm.
more so, I'm glad that you found a reading that, or obviously had that, had that lead to pull from to,
Yeah.
to pull out the reading. So I
Yeah.
think the recap of the lead. I'm not saying it was better than the reading, but I think hand in hand. I'm glad you talked about
Right.
honesty from that different side of it. So I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah. Cool.
So awesome. So what else? Anything on the reading? Anything more on the lead or?
I mean, no, like I said, the lead was fine. It was just he kept like making the point over and
Right.
over again. And he was lying to himself, and he doesn't really like go into it. I was just catching it, going, "Oh fuck, look how fucked up we were. Look how fucked up I was." Right, believing the lies that I told myself, and yeah, and how shitty it was, and he was just relating his experience with that, and like I said, he had maybe I don't even think he had 2 years, about a year and a half or so, and yeah, so he wasn't catching it, but I was catching it because he kept giving different examples of just that very thing, lying to himself and believing it, and yeah, so I commented on it, and yeah, I think he caught it when I pointed it out to him. So
Right. No, and that's I mean, but that's what I mean, think about that. Those
right,
first, I mean, I think both of us led quite a bit in those first couple of
mm-hmm.
years. I mean, thankfully had, people ask us and had that
Right,
opportunity to get up there. And I mean, there was I know my first lead you made a comment. You made a comment, I think, when I led your home group like a year ago,
mm-hmm.
about something, and I think it was about the we in the program
Right,
or whatever it was. You or
mm-hmm.
somebody did. I think it was you.
Yeah.
You or Sean or whoever it was, somebody made
Right,
that comment, and I didn't. Same deal. I didn't realize that I was making a point of it, but
uh-huh,
um, that's good.
right.
I mean, the fact that that's at least if nothing else, it's the same thing I was talking about before. I mean, this shit gets ingrained in my head. I know it sticks
Mm-hmm.
in there someplace. I don't know where it's
Right,
at all the time, but
right.
it knows well enough to pop up and go, "Hey, here I am. Let's talk about this part."
Mm-hmm.
This is what you need to talk about. This is what you need to look at. So,
Yeah.
no, that's wonderful too. And I once again, people between that 1 year, the 3 year mark,
Mm-hmm.
I feel personally that in most cases, not everyone has the same
Sure.
effect on me, but in a lot of those cases, I feel inspired by people at that time frame,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're so new and they're so fresh, and sometimes the things like that, the things that they don't
Mm-hmm.
know or don't realize that they
Right.
know, is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did this pop up? Oh, just a couple of days ago, because I think it. I can't think of the day now. June 17th, I think, is the day for it. But Jim Benny was 10 years ago that he died. Can you believe
Mm.
it's been 10 fucking years?
God damn.
I
Yeah,
know.
no.
So, and it's there's a couple of people. I think I get the Mulhall one that pops up. I
Mm-hmm.
get the one for my sponsor for the
Mm-hmm.
legacy thing, and
Okay.
then I must have signed Jim's book or whatever, because I get that one that pops up,
Okay.
and it was just a couple of days ago. But then I look back, I'm like, God, when was that? Yeah, June 17th of 2015 is when he died.
Hmm.
Um, which again blew my mind, but I thought about that. Thinking about the first 30 days, the first 60 days. So
Mm-hmm.
Jim was he was a guy at the time that we got there. How did he have 16, 15, 16, 17 years?
Probably something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean roughly in our range now.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Right.
time that we got there,
Yeah.
and whatever was that was a Wednesday, right? That he did that, and how
Yes,
many
it
hours?
was.
How many hours was it? It was
All of them.
yeah, it was a lot, but
It was
he,
two. It
oh,
was
was it
two.
two? Okay, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, God, it could have been. It felt like five,
Yeah.
for all
Right.
that, but. He was the one that came in, and we talked about him before. But he came in
Mm-hmm.
with the boombox and the
Yep.
tapes. It was the big book on tape,
Yes. Right.
and he would play chapters. And then he had his troll friend with him. That was
Right.
that guy
Toady.
was he was fucking creepy as fuck, just creepy.
Yes, he
Um,
was.
But I mean, yeah, he would sit there and play the tapes, and then we talked about them too, because I think we didn't we? We just there was a discussion with that, or did we?
Yeah, a little, but yeah,
Okay.
not a lot. It was mostly playing the tapes from the driest, whitest voice in the world, reading the big book,
Right.
and yeah, no, and then they would kind of talk about it a little bit. I don't think we really talked a whole lot as a group.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
it
don't.
was mostly listening to those fucking tapes.
Right. Which the funny part is, and I think I might have even brought this up on here before, but after we got to the point where we were looking for work, I mean
Mm-hmm.
I was there on a Wednesday
Yeah.
one time when he was there, and I'm like, huh, I literally I had nothing else to do, so I walked in and I sat down in the group room
Mm-hmm.
during that. And I don't remember how long I stayed in there, but I was sitting there and I was actually enjoying it.
Ah.
And I'm like, that's fucking weird, you know? But
Right.
maybe an example of, 30 days versus 90 days. Doesn't seem
Mm-hmm.
like a long time, but a big
Right.
difference, you know?
Yeah.
And, I started to maybe understand and have some clarity, not all of
Mm-hmm.
it.
Sure.
But I sat there and I was just listening to these tapes and actually, grabbing something and taking something out
Mm-hmm.
of it. And it I remember it blowing my mind. Because I'm like,
Right.
I hated this a month ago.
Sure. Right. Well, I mean that you had clearly a little bit of willingness, as opposed to a month and a half earlier when you didn't have any willingness, you were forced to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing a little bit of willingness, what it'll do for you. It can
Right.
actually, it changes a lot of shit.
Yeah, and even I was just thinking back when we were kids. I remember specifically in where we lived in Pittsburgh, right behind our the house that we lived in. There was this it kind of the backyard angled down. Mom had a garden, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and then behind the garden it kind of angled down, and there was this big ravine and
Mm-hmm.
woods behind our house, and we used to play down there. It was wonderful. Whole side note, just really wonderful place to spend a few years as a 8, 9, 10, 11 year old, whatever we
Sure.
were.
Mm-hmm.
But we had trees, and I mean just get layered and layered with leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And we get this idea, whether it was Kathy and I or whoever, and we just rake leaves in the backyard and jump in the leaves.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun
Yeah.
until Mom got home and she's like, yeah, well, you actually got to rake those up and
Right.
toss them over the hill, and then it was no fun anymore.
Right.
Absolutely fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And the first time I was able to, allowed to cut the grass, I'm like, this is kind of great. And then it became,
Mm-hmm.
Something I had to, if I can cut the grass. But it's the same thing. The same thing I was doing with the goddamn leaves. I was doing, 10 minutes earlier, but now I had this. Somebody told me to
Right.
do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. As a
That's
9 or 10-year-old child, I was the same goddamn way as I was
as
at
a
41.
budding alcoholic.
Yeah.
I believe that's why they call them suggestions.
Right. Yeah. I didn't appreciate her suggestions at the time. not even one little bit. But yeah, it was just. But yeah, seriously, it's all said and done. I mean, I once again, I know that I got something from those meetings with Jim.
Right.
Ultimately,
Right.
and whatever they talked about, that's why I said I couldn't even remember if we had this
Mm-hmm.
discussion about it. I seriously do not remember that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with sitting there and having that book fed to you.
Right.
Nothing at all. And it's been a long time, and I mean a long time. When's the last time you sat down and read anything in the big book, with the exception of like one of the readings for a meeting?
Right. It's been years.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even. I know I haven't read anything since I've been here, and I
Mm-hmm.
came down here 3 years ago,
Right.
so that's three. I don't think I've read it since the pandemic. That's five.
Right.
I don't know. I have no idea. You know what? Let me take that back. Maybe it was. I had it in my mind. Maybe it was right at the start of the pandemic that I
Mm-hmm.
sat down and I told myself I was going to read, I don't know, 5 pages or a chapter out of the big book every night.
Right.
And I did for about
Uh-huh.
4 nights.
Right.
Then I'm like, I don't feel like doing this anymore.
Actually,
All right.
I was being dishonest. I lied to myself and believed it. God damn it.
Damn it.
Yes. No. Yeah. About a week and a half ago, I didn't deeply read it, but I kind of read over Bill's story a little bit, just because
Oh, okay.
yeah, because I was like, Akron, we're going down to Founders Day, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I did read a little of Bill's story.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
All right.
so
So
there.
there you go.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this. I think when we first started this podcast, and you had me beat then, and now I know you got me fucking way beat on that too. It's seriously, I don't think I've read the big book since we started the podcast. So again, 3.5 years,
Yeah.
in a minimum. But I did. I just I had that mindset to sit down and I there's nothing. I like the big book. I really
Yeah.
do.
Right.
I used to love going to big book meetings, and that's the thing. We're doing the same goddamn thing in a big book meeting. Just it
Mm-hmm.
was a group of people that were
Yeah.
doing the readings. But
Right.
I used to go to one in Mequon on a semi regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big book meetings. I think I went to one in Cleveland for a little bit. Well, Dan's was a big
Well,
book.
yeah. Right.
But there was another one I thought I went to, maybe not, but
Yeah.
yeah, Dan's was the big book
Right.
discussion. So I don't know. I mean, I, I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't
Sure.
done it.
Right.
'Cause I'm a lazy fuck.
Right. And I mean, I catch a little bit because, Andrew, who was the secretary at my home group, he gets together with a few guys before the meeting. And so, like, usually when I pull up, they're out sitting outside smoking cigars and doing a big book reading. So I catch a
Oh,
little
really?
of it. Yeah. So I'll catch like 5 minutes or so towards the end of it, whatever they're doing. And yeah. So I get a little.
Get a little glean off of it. A
Yeah.
little big book shrapnel, if nothing else.
Exactly.
Just get pegged into the side of your brain with a little bit of big book knowledge.
Right. And
But,
it's usually, I'll walk up and they'll be reading whatever, and I'll go, "Oh yeah, they're doing that." I mean, so I recognize it. Like you said, it's in there somewhere. It's just, I probably need to dredge it up a little more often.
right. Well, that's the other thing too, and I'll bring up, and it just made me think about this. I'll bring up what Matt did on Sober Friends podcast. He
Mm-hmm.
did, and seriously, if anyone's listening to this, and whether you listen to Sober Friends or not, they've got good content. They're a little bit more structured, which is not to say too much.
Yeah,
Not
it's a low
saying
bar.
a lot. Yeah, low bar, but obviously more structured than us. Usually one topic and that sort of thing. But Matt did this whole series of decoding the big book, and he
Mm-hmm.
had a individual on that wrote this really really long book about the big book. This I don't know, I can't remember that guy's name, but anyhow, Matt did a really nice job. He would do a chapter. And he'd talk about a little bit of history, this and that, and then he read the chapter through
Uh-huh.
these episodes. And I listened to all of them. So I mean, I listened to the big book
Mm-hmm.
semi recently, and
Right.
I guess that's been since I've been down here. But
Sure.
anyhow, my point is that if you want to get a glimpse or a dip into the big book a little bit and actually get some background in history and that sort of thing, and not necessarily like you said, Mike, has some just dry white voice, reading it. Matt from Sober Friends and his all of the episodes, if you scroll back through, I don't know what numbers they are, but
Mm-hmm.
they're listed as decoding the big book, and it tells you what chapter he did. So hey, go check it out. He did, and I told him that at one point. I think I messaged him and told him what
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did a great job on it. So,
Cool.
yeah. Well, they put a lot. Matt's very particular. We are not.
Right.
But one other thing that I wanted to. Oh, I know what I wanted to bring up. So speaking of our episodes, so our episode from last week, and I obviously I was in Cleveland, when we recorded it and when this
Mm-hmm.
happened. But I already told Mike about this, but if anyone's listening to this, or well, of course you're listening to it, that's so stupid. Those of you listening right now, take a look at the picture from last week's episode, so
yes.
episode 172, and it's two youngsters that are clearly drinking bottles of alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and
Toddlers, not youngsters.
toddlers,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
toddlers,
Yes.
and I think it was within, God, it might have been within it was within less than an hour
Oh,
from the
yeah.
time that our episode actually went up
Mhm.
on a Saturday. I get this email from YouTube, and it's like, well, hang on, let me. I think I want to read. I want to read the email because this actually made it. It worried me only for a minute, but I'll explain why. But let me. Where is it? Oh, here we go. And it's titled YouTube Removed Your Content. And I'm like, what?
Dun dun dun.
Hi, Sober Not Mature. It looks like episode one, or it looks like Sober Not Mature episode 172, Brothers in Defects, didn't follow community guidelines. To help our community, to keep our community safe, we removed it from YouTube. We think your content didn't follow our child safety policy. Content that endangers the emotional and physical well-being of minors isn't allowed on YouTube. Read the policy. I didn't. How this impacts you. This is just a warning. Thank you. Because this is your first time, you can still upload, post, and live stream. However, we removed your content from YouTube. What to do next? Review your content and the policy.
Mm-hmm.
After your review, you can appeal if you think we got it wrong. And side note, they did not necessarily. Based on their guideline, I'm guessing, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. It's not even worth it. I don't need them. We don't need them digging into all of our other episodes to take a look at anything. So we'll take the hit. We'll take the speeding ticket.
Yeah, apparently piss drawer's fine though. You can pee in drawers. Just don't have a toddler with a bottle of booze in their hand.
Right. Or you can take optional training to remove the warning. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Automated systems, blah, blah, blah. So I told Mike right away. And then what I did, I checked I checked Spotify, I checked Apple, I checked Amazon. I'm checking everywhere to make sure. I mean, it was up on our website and on Podpage and all these different things. Because I'm going to say, I don't care about YouTube. I know you don't care about YouTube. We don't do anything with it. It just happens to be through Podpage, which is our website host for Sober Not Mature. There's a link or there's a thing, a button that you could have it post automatically. I think we could also, I could have had it automatically post to Facebook, which I don't. I could have them post to LinkedIn, whatever, but I thought YouTube, whatever, because we had talked about doing shit there. Doesn't matter. So the point is that, yes, after it took us 172 episodes, but we got something, we got something banned from the Google.
Right. Sober Not Mature, bad for children.
God, that could be a new tagline too. Sober Not Mature, bad for children. But the thing of it is, I mean, I'm kind of surprised, and I kept a close eye on that for a couple of days because, I mean, the whole Facebook, Instagram, Meta universe,
right?
They're the ones that can be picky as fuck, and we've gotten flagged on stuff before that isn't even bad. I mean, I've gotten flagged on some memes and shit like that before, which I'm like, I get it. I understand that. But we didn't get flagged on that, thankfully. And that's what I care about more because that's where the actual audio goes. If one episode is missing on YouTube, we have almost zero, when it comes to a following. I don't know. We have 15 people on YouTube.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe at some point we'll do something with it, but I don't know. It's fucking YouTube, so you pulled one thing and, so nice job, Mike. I mean, and I mean that in a positive way. I don't mean that sarcastically. I'm like, that's kind of cool,
Yeah, right.
Took the fucking hit, But I just like the way they put it. This is just a warning. You're okay.
Thanks.
but if you do it again, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. So, but on that note, speaking of our websites, what do you think, Mike? Should we take a little break?
I think we should take a break, endanger some children, and we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for you.
All right, I may have an answer for you.
So if you're one of our fine listeners and you wanted to know a little bit more about the podcast, more than just listening to us ramble, where would you go as a listener? What do you think you'd do?
I believe you would go to SoberNotMature.com.
Ding. Ding. Okay, good. Now, next question is, what if you've been, I don't know, seeing us on social media, you've seen our t-shirts, you've seen some of the pictures we posted, and the person's like, you know what, I want to be cool like those guys and get a t-shirt or a coffee mug. Where would they go for that? I know this is a tougher question, but where would they go for that one?
They would go to SoberNotMature.com.
They could do that. Yes, you're right. Because once you're on SoberNotMature.com, they can hit the store link and go to our second website, which is SoberNotMatureShop.com.
See, I was going to say store. I'd have screwed it up.
You know what the thing of it is you got it right the first time. Everything people want is at, go ahead with the first website.
SoberNotMature.com.
And if you mess around on there, you're going to see everything we have. Obviously, we have our merchandise. See a little bit about us, a little bit about our background. We posted some other things on there, but I don't know. You can even sign up for our email list. And here's the good thing. We barely email anyone ever, so you're not going to get spammed.
Oh, no, absolutely not. That would be like effort on our part, and that's not going to happen.
Right. I have never used our mailing list yet. I may at some point, but that would take structure and discipline, which I don't think either one of us have, do we?
I know I don't.
All right. So just to wrap up here, to visit our main website and get to everything that is us, where would they go, Mike?
SoberNotMature.com.
Visit that today, right?
Right.
Okay, I think we're done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. And hopefully you now know that you could visit both of our websites, and that was with our new music. You know what? There was another piece of free music that I had downloaded at the same time, but I like the one that we used. You want to hear the other one that I downloaded?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. So that's the one that we didn't use. This is the one we use. Oh yeah. I like the one that we ended up using. I kind of like the I don't know, the smoothness of the other one, but it just seemed like it would drag along. I thought we needed something
a little more upbeat.
Yeah, snappy.
Yeah, something you can dance to.
Something you could dance to rather than boom, 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 boom. We should do this while you're doing your reading. Boom, 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 boom. And then this. Boom, 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 boom. I gotta go find more free music just to fuck around every once in a while. But actually, no, I'll get to the other thing before. So, what about you want to do a quick
I don't know. Do I?
Hey, Mike, do you want to
Yes.
do a quick wrap up on Founders Day last weekend?
Sure.
Jesus Christ. You know what? I don't know. I had a good day. Had a good couple of days. I'm not tired. Actually got I think I got some decent sleep lately and all this type of stuff, and I still can't fucking speak. So
All
it has
right.
nothing to do with outside stuff. Take away the substance. I still got fucking problems. But so I mean, we had obviously Founders Day last weekend. Kathy ended up coming, so that worked out well.
Right.
There was a little bit of a scare with one of her dogs, and she wasn't sure if she was going to come. So obviously, Kathy, our sister, came, and then we ended up. I think I did bring it up last week that Shirley was going to be there. Did we talk about that? Yeah.
I don't even.
I think I brought it up.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think you brought it up. I don't know that we were 100% though. Maybe it was like 80% or something. But hey, guess what? Shirley showed up.
Yeah, our friend and our podcast guest from a few weeks ago. We actually got to meet her, as the kids say, IRL in real life. But it was nice, and the thing is that to begin with, she was going back and forth about there was this. They have buses coming out of Detroit. Obviously people coming. She had missed that. Other people that have gone before, they're like, yeah, I did it once, I'm good, or don't feel like going, or whatever the case was. So she ended up coming by herself. She grabbed an Airbnb. I don't know. She said 20 minutes or so away, and made a whole thing of it. So it was nice because we get to kick around with her, and obviously had a chance to meet her, which was nice. But it was just it turned out to be. I mean, the weather. I mean, I couldn't complain about that, right?
No. Perfect. Well, I mean, it could have been 5 degrees cooler, but yes, other than that, it was perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, by the time we got to the probably midway through the lead, as the sun and stuff was going down, it got a little bit chillier, but not terrible. But I mean, it cooled down a little bit. But I mean, it was just it was a nice day. And then, as you said, you brought a couple of normies, right?
I did, yes. Well, Chris, came, and my granddaughter came, Lydia.
Yeah, and that was nice. I mean, I'm glad she was able to come, and she seemed to have a nice time, kicking around with us. And she was down there when we went to Dr. Bob's that one time, whatever it was, 2-3 years ago, or a couple of years ago, or whenever it was.
Wasn't 2? Was it 2?
God, yeah, I don't remember.
Or I thought, yeah, it must have been 2 because it wasn't last year.
Yeah, at least two. Or was it the first year that we were doing the podcast? Was it 20?
Nah, it was the second.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
fucking I.
it was like 2 years ago. I don't know, man. It was our anniversary. I know it was April. That much
Right.
I know.
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking it might have been 3. I could flip through my
You
pictures
know
real
what?
quick.
It doesn't matter.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I could do it, but it doesn't matter. But one way or the other, it was a really nice day. And
Hmm.
you said you saw a couple of people that you knew. I didn't see a
Yeah,
lot of people there, which is kind of weird. But
right. Yeah, I mean, we didn't. Yeah, there was. Clearly there were people there that we knew, but we
right,
just didn't run into them. Yeah, I don't know. It was a nice day. It always is. It was great. Oh, God, man. You know what? It was a little too peoply, which usually doesn't bother me down there. I mean, I clearly don't like crowds and human beings in general. um but usually it doesn't bother me as much down there because we're sober and trying to be good people and whatever. Prime example though of when we were waiting for the bus van thing to take us out to
oh yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Bob's house, right? We're standing in line and we were not far from the beginning of the line. We were probably, I don't know, 10 people back, something like that.
yeah,
And the next bus pulled up and it pulled up like kind of behind us and over. And all the people that were behind us went and shot over there and got in line before us. And I'm just like, really? So this is what sobriety looks like, huh? You motherfuckers. And
right.
yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It was kind of, I don't know. Clearly there were more people there than usual because I
Agreed.
think because
Yep.
of the 90. I think that was probably part of it. And it just, I don't know, man. It was I don't know. It didn't seem like the spirit was there like it usually is. And yeah, so kind of put a little bit of a damper on the day for me, but fuck them. I was
Right.
there. We had fun. We hung out. That's all that mattered.
Yeah, and that is because I mean both of us actually I think all of us said something when all those
Mm-hmm.
people did that because that happens to me. I've been in Aldi is a great example, because
Sure.
sometimes they'll have when I mean now they got self checkout, which I'll go to. I
Mm-hmm.
would rather go to self checkout anywhere because I can
Right.
go at my own
Again,
pace. Yeah, I don't have to.
dealing with humans.
Exactly. But all these that don't have that, you're a lot of times in a line or in like a pack, kind of
Mm-hmm.
in front of these old registers,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody will come in and they'll, one of the staff members will, oh, come over on number 4, and then all these
Right.
people that are behind you start
Uh-huh.
getting in line, and I'm like, really?
Right.
I've
But
never done
again,
that to anyone.
right, of course. But again, I expect that out in the quote. Here's my air quotes, real world.
Right.
Right. I
Right.
expect right. Yeah. But and in a sobriety based kind of recovery thing, yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe just more numbers. And so there's more assholes.
Right.
There's always going to be a certain amount, but I think I hold myself to a higher standard. And when I'm in a situation like that, I kind of would hope that other people do too, but apparently not.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. There was, and it wasn't as much like by the time we got over the Dr. Bob's, it was what, 4 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Right.
So we didn't go down there, and not later, but late, later afternoon, late to mid afternoon, mid to
Right.
late afternoon, which is we've been over there later,
Oh,
the day
sure.
before.
Yeah.
So not as many people over there. It was actually kind of nice. We're able to get in and
Mm-hmm.
out. That wasn't that crowded over there.
Right.
But I mean, you weren't able to get any T-shirts. All the vendors were gone, which was that was mind blowing that all
Yeah.
that was gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I just don't think they were there. Yeah, and I mean, the one that's directly across the street, that's always there.
Right,
Yeah, they were like completely fucking sold out of everything. All and great example. I mean, the one side had T-shirts from past years because they
right,
never sell out. I mean, there'll be, certain sizes and certain designs will sell out, but they'll always have leftovers because they were selling them from last year and the year before. And no, it was just, I mean, there was nothing It was like not, yeah, I mean, there'll be, smalls left and stuff like that because, it's fucking Cleveland or Akron and whatever. So there's not a lot of small sizes around. So that shit's always left over, but there was nothing. It was absolutely nothing from this year. It was weird.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Once we got back over, and the number of people that were in the stadium, like when we walked in, it just seemed more packed. Walking out, it was what it was, because it's always
Right.
if we still to the end, there's going to be a lot of people coming out.
Mhm.
But I agree with you. I mean, there was a lot more. I felt the people too.
Yeah.
And you know what? The funny thing is that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't really think about it that much. I don't like the same type of thing. I don't really like being in huge crowds,
Mhm.
whether it's on a hiking trail, whether it's on, I like room to move, whether it's at a grocery
Mhm.
store. But probably the only time I guess I suck it up a little bit would be if you're like at a concert type of thing,
Right.
or a sporting event, or maybe Founders Day. But there were a lot more people, and
Yeah.
I guess to your point, yeah, just it didn't seem like people were as considerate.
Yeah. Sober.
Yeah, and that's a good point. People weren't acting,
Yes.
as you might expect them to
Yeah.
act for, a whole group of sober people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kind of bummed me out a little bit, but I got over it.
Right. But I mean, yeah, because we had a nice time. I mean, it
We
was,
did.
it was just so. I mean, like to your point. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted it necessarily to be any cooler. I know you'd rather have it a little bit cooler, but
Yes.
but I thought the weather was just perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely perfect. But yeah, it was just nice. A little bit of haze from the from the wildfires
From
here
the
and there, but
Canadian invasion.
yeah, which is still kind of it still blows my mind that all that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I would think that, why, if it's going to travel here, why that doesn't travel farther, farther south from wherever. But it's still these, over the last, whatever, it's been a handful of years. It seems like it's like
Mhm.
fucking L.A. now, or California now. It's every year, fucking
Oh,
Canada's on fire.
right.
So whatever, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that would be that's all the time we have for Founders Day wrap up.
It is.
So a quick side note here, and I was listening to can't remember what Rob Lowe podcast I've been listening to. Obviously, you know who Andrew McCarthy is, right? From
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that he's sober?
I did not.
I had no idea. And just take a stab at how long he's been sober.
I 20 years.
29 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean he's I mean almost I think Rob Lowe's got a year or two on him, or year or two less. 'Cause, I
Uh-huh.
mean Rob Lowe now is like 30 plus. I mean, because he's been doing these podcasts I'm listening to were from a few years ago.
Mhm.
So I think Rob Lowe's probably 32, 33 now. But
Okay.
I'm like, I had, first of all, no idea he was sober, and then 29 years. I'm like,
Wow.
Jesus Christ. So again, over 30 years, but yeah, that was a lot about nothing. But I'm like, it just blew my mind that he was sober to begin with, let alone
Right.
29 years.
Yeah.
So
Oh, good for him.
yeah, exactly. So that was my side note comment. But all right, so a couple of quick things on, once again, 6 month, 6 step. A couple of things I wrote down from readings. I had them down on here, I think, last week, but just a couple of brief things I wanted to chit chat about. So Keep It Simple said, "Today I'll get ready to have my character defects removed. I will
Uh-huh.
list them and ask myself, what do I get from keeping them?" Okay.
Huh.
So I guess first of all, my question is, because I'll be honest, I didn't understand the sixth and seventh step to begin with, so I know I didn't write anything down.
Mm.
Um, did you actually, I guess question number one, did you write down character defects at the time? And did you think about, at that time frame, what you would either get or how they might harm you if you kept them? Was that conscious at all, or no?
No, not really. No, I did not write anything down, and yeah, I yeah, you became willing, yeah, to have them taken away from me. Yeah, that was part of it. Again, it's the 6 and 7, I believe, are on the list of steps that I've got to work every day.
Right.
Yeah. Um, Well, but I always like, in the 12 and 12, it's, this is the, when you get to the 6th, this is the one that separates the men from the boys, right. This is when the work fucking kicks in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, they're kind of, a lot of times they're forgotten. Oh, 6 and 7. Okay. Go sit for an hour after you do your 5th and la, la, la. Okay. I'm done. Yeah. No. Because clearly, yeah, there are character defects I'm always going to have. I try to lessen them. But yeah, I'm never going to be perfect. I know that. That's okay. But yes, hanging on to them clearly is detrimental to me. And being selfish and self-centered, I don't want to hurt myself anymore. So, well, I don't know. Still working on them, man.
Right, and I mean that's understandable, but I just didn't know if, as I was thinking about it, I just didn't know if, because clearly I was one of the ones that thought, just can't sit there and do this, because I mean, shit. By the time I asked Joe to be my sponsor, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years sober. I'm like, oh, I did these steps, right?
Right.
And I think I used the word completed. And you're like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, I don't understand. We'll come back when you do. God damn it. But no, I didn't. I just didn't know. I didn't remember, even when I understood it. If I really focused on them, I know what my number one is right now, and I think that, to this day, patience is still my number
Mm-hmm.
one. Patience or lack of, whichever way you want to look at
Right.
it. I got plenty of other ones, but I mean that's the one that's glaring all the time, is just
Mm-hmm.
patience. I have no fucking patience ever.
Right.
Um, or at least not naturally, I guess is the better way to put it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a natural propensity for patience.
Yes.
So the second thing from it, all of these are kind of along the same lines, and I guess I didn't read them all through before. But so God grant me was talking about us coming to grips with living a lifetime without our defects. What will happen when we face a world without our defects? And my question was, did you have any conscious thought about that when you were working through, step 6 the first time? But I guess we kind
Mm-hmm.
of talked about that a little bit. But did it ever cross your mind about how that would, I don't know, from a future standpoint, did you think, well, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this sort of thing?
Right. No.
See, these are always kind of simple for both of us, because I think
Yeah.
that, I don't know, both of us, I think, came to grips with the concept, thankfully, of
Uh-huh.
these pretty quickly. And then the keep it simple, and I'm just going to talk about that. We can go back to the other one also if you want to, but many of us can't let go of all of our character defects at once. So every day
Mm.
we can ask our higher power to remove only the ones that will hurt us today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was the one, that last one. Again, this was keep it simple. Um, that one kind of made me scratch my head a little bit, because,
Mm.
um, I don't know. I mean, have you ever, even to this day, do you ever give yourself a little bit of, I guess, as the kids say, give yourself some grace and
Mm.
say, I'm gonna ease off on this one, but I need this one today. I don't know. It just seemed like a weird concept.
I
Um,
mean, as you read that, I was thinking, yeah, and I kind of do, don't, yes, and I don't actually say these words or anything, but it is kind of in the back of my head. It's like, yeah, don't let my fucked up shit, get in my way today, or anyone else's. That's kind of the best way I deal with my character defects. Yes, I'm going to always have them. Yes, I do have them. Yes, they are lessened, and that's kind of my attitude towards it. It's like, well, um you said patience is one of yours. My lack of empathy is one of mine. I know that. And it's, yeah, try to care about something other than yourself today, right? I'm not gonna be full blown. I'm not gonna, like, oh God, I fucking care about everyone. It's not gonna happen. Right, it's not gonna happen. I understand that. um but don't let it get in my way. Don't let it stop me from growing, and don't let it stop me from being of use to someone else today, and I have to be conscious of that. And that's kind of the best I can fucking do on a daily basis. Don't let my lack of empathy, don't let my lack of giving a shit about anything, um, get in my way or anyone else's way. Don't let it stop me from being useful. And yeah, that's kind of the best I can fucking do with any of it.
Right. And that's a good point. And when you said that, I wrote down what I say in one of my prayers because I think I would
Mm-hmm.
have forgot it. But one of the things I wrap up with at the end of my prayers, and then it's in morning and night, is I always say, "Help me keep my mind in check,"
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of, as you were saying that, I'm like, that's kind of me
Yeah.
saying that, keep my shit straight, keep my
Mm-hmm.
defects in order.
Right.
And then immediately after that, I always say, and remember, people, places, and things. You can't control them. And those two things, I have no idea when I came up with them, but those two things, I recite to myself twice a day, and it's in that order. Help me keep my mind in check, and remember, the people,
Mm-hmm.
places, and things.
Right.
And that's it. Just saying, listen, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control all this shit out there,
Right.
and don't fucking blow up at people.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Don't lose your shit on somebody today for no goddamn reason because you can't
Mm-hmm.
control them anyhow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But
Let them
then,
fucking whirl.
I wrap up my prayers. I say the 7-step prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like you said. Kind of, doing somebody else's will and keeping yourself in again, keeping everything in shape and
Right.
blah blah blah. But yeah, same thing. I don't know when I started wrapping up with the 7-step prayer, but it's in all these things that we talk about. I don't know if they. I mean, part of me, I think, does any of this shit make a difference? I mean, who knows, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to stop it
Right.
because so far, yes, all of these things that I do clearly have made some sort of difference. And I,
Right.
like we always talk about, I don't know if I take out that one phrase, help me keep my mind in check. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I go off the edge and I start drinking next week,
Right.
or I stop reminding myself that I can't control, that people, places, and things. And then,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, I don't know, I try to rob a bank like our friend does, our
Right.
friend did. Hey, I don't know what piece is keeping
Yeah.
my shit straight.
Right.
It's like, does this work? Hey, let's pull out this block out of this, this fucking Jenga thing and
Mm-hmm.
see if the shit falls. I could probably get
Right.
this. I could probably take this out. I think I could do this. I got the
Right.
skill.
Yeah. Right. The structure will stay. It'll be fine. Everything will
Yeah.
come tumbling down.
Everything is fine.
This is fine. This is all fine.
Settle down. But yeah, so okay, yeah, those are
Mhm.
those are the only three things I had on the 6-step stuff. But sixth, say that 3 times fast. Six,
Nope.
I can't even say it once, let alone
Right.
3 times. Stuff on the 6th step.
Yes.
Then next month we'll talk about the 7th step again if I think about or pull stuff out of readings again. But all right, so I got to tell you just real quick about my doctor's appointment. I get a couple of articles too, but. So all said and done, this whole ankle thing, I'm not going to get into a lot of details with it, but it hasn't healed up, and
Right.
I've tried everything, and I've tried all whatevers, and finally I'm like, again, powerless.
Have
Apparently,
you tried
over
leeches?
no, and
Yeah.
it's not that. It's just and like I said, I'm trying to get gross about anything, but it's still an open wound, and it's just gotten to the point where it's big enough where the skin won't come over, blah blah blah. So I'm like, fuck it. I had Monday off, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to get in, and I did. I got into I ended up seeing, all the doctors were busy, and then because I called first thing Monday mornings, I couldn't set the appointment online. It was just so stupid. It's a good thing the system didn't let me because the lady I talked to, she's like, yeah, it's a new patient. It wouldn't have been set up right anyhow. So I got in at 3:00 on Monday, whatever it was, and as a nurse practitioner. And two things that I'll say right off the bat. I haven't been to the doctor in a long time. Um, I have about as much trust for doctors as I do for attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
They're a necessary evil,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to feel comfortable in order to continue doing anything when it comes to medical or anything specifically medical stuff.
Right.
I went in for my heartburn years ago, and this doctor I dealt with to begin with, she was a fucking knob.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm not doing any of that stuff,
Right.
And went back in a year, and then the guy I went with worked well with me, and I trusted him, and ended up getting my surgery done. So this nurse practitioner is just really, really fucking cool. But anyhow, all said and done, fill everything out. I ended up telling 3 people I was sober when I did this. By the way, because I mean, think about that. You're telling somebody I tripped
Right.
over a coffee table,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt compelled to qualify it. Lady on the phone when I set the appointment, because she's like, "What are you
Uh-huh.
coming in for? What happened?" Then the nurse that takes me in and did my vitals or whatever
Right.
to begin with, and then of course when the actual nurse practitioner, the what I consider, she's fucking doctor. I mean, she's
Right.
not the
Yeah.
title, but that's what
Right.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then she takes off the band and she's like, "What did you do?" So I told her the whole thing, and she's like, "Well, here's the thing." She goes, "It might be a little infected. It's not bad, but I'm going to antibiotics this. I'm going to give you this other stuff I want you to put on it, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually out of stock. I'm waiting for that to come in at Walgreens." But she said, "I'm going to refer you to a wound clinic,"
Uh-huh.
because she said this is just a little bit beyond what we can do here, but
Mm-hmm.
this, that, and the other thing. And then until she's checking me out, and then she's like, "So when's the last time you had blood work?" And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, I. She's like, "Well, you should have that. If you haven't had it done
Mm-hmm.
in a while," which I agree. I haven't had I
Right.
haven't had real physical blood work, so. And then she's, kind of checking my breathing. She's like, "Any history of smoking?" I'm like, "I quit 2 years ago." She's like, "Oh, you're probably going to be eligible for a free, lung cancer screening." So she's like, "I'll write you an order for that." She goes, when you get your time. And then she's like, we might need. She goes, number one priority, get to the wound clinic first. They might
Mm-hmm.
recommend this, but she goes, "I'm going to write you in order for an X-ray, possibly to get your legs X-rayed," because she
Mm-hmm.
said, "I want to make sure that you have enough blood flow through there," because
Right.
she said that could be part of the problem.
Right.
And she goes, "I'm just being honest." She goes, "It could be anything. Could be a heart related thing." She goes, "It could be a diabetic type of thing." She goes, "I don't know," but she said that's all these things. The blood work will all these things you'll figure out. I don't have any like bad symptoms or anything like that of any of this shit, but it kind of is what it is. And then she's like, "When's the last time you had a colonoscopy?"
Nope.
And I'm like, she says, "If you can't remember, it's been too long." So she's like,
Uh-huh.
"Any history of, rectal cancer?" No. She's like, "Okay,
Uh-huh.
you can do this, this Cologuard thing, the male thing. So I've got that coming."
Shit in a box.
Yeah, shit in a box. And it's just fucking hilarious. But so here's the thing. So all said and done, first of all, basically what it reminded me of. So Dave Chappelle has this bit years ago that he did. He goes to a police station to pick up his buddy that got arrested for something, and he's there, and the cop's like, "Oh, while you're here, you fit a description. Why don't you come with me?" Type of thing. Um,
Uh-huh.
and he didn't do anything, and that's kind of what I felt like. He said, "Well, while you're here, this
Mm-hmm.
should be done, that should be done," but none of the things that she suggested were wrong. They weren't out of the
Right.
ordinary. I'm a 56-year-old man who hasn't been to the doctor in fucking years. I mean, yes, should I get blood work done? Should I get screened for this? Should I get screened for that? Yes, yes, and fucking yes. And what I told Kathy is, I'm like, the only thing, I'm like, I have no fucking idea how much all this shit's gonna cost.
Right.
But I'm like, here's the thing. Just like anything else, that it reminded me of, this is the sobriety point of this, is that I wouldn't have had it not been. I don't like the fact that I'm dealing with this fucking leg thing. Um, but it doesn't hurt. It hasn't, knocked me out or anything like that, or knocked me down. But same thing. I was taken to detox, and I was taken to the Keating Center,
Uh-huh.
because I had no other choice, right? And I have to go to the doctor for this, which is putting me in a position to have, now I'm in a position to get all this other help, or
Right.
all these things, these suggestions,
Mm-hmm.
that can help me, because, honestly, I wouldn't have done it on my own. I wouldn't have gone in and be like, "Hey, by the way, can somebody check my ass, or can I poop in a box? I like that, please. I lung screening. Yeah, give me some blood work. Check my legs just to make sure this." I never would have done any of that stuff on my own.
Right.
Not because I don't care, just because it's us. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's our mindset or our mentality. I'm not looping everyone into it. Maybe it's just me, okay?
Huh?
But I don't think I would have done it. But you know what? All said and done, I and you and I talked about it. I'd like to stick around, for a couple more years.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe, who knows? Maybe I can crush the male Lindela curse and make it out of my 60s. Because the male Lindelas don't live past 66, at least not for the
Mm-hmm.
last three generations.
Right.
So maybe I could bust that up there, at least find out earlier if something's fucking wrong with me.
Right.
Um, and here's the most wonderful part that I didn't think about until right before we got done to record. Because I wrote it down, like, I should talk about this whole doctor's appointment thing. Um, I'm not afraid of doing any of this stuff. I'm not afraid of what
Right.
I'm going to be told, which
Mm-hmm.
is really out of the ordinary for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I'm not questioning it, you know.
Right.
It literally just occurred to me before we get on here that I'm not afraid of whatever. They could say any fucking thing they want. I'm not afraid of it. And I don't know why, you know, and I don't care. But it's again back to, let's wrap it back to the beginning. I feel this freedom of not having that overwhelming fear of what somebody might tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not gonna question it, like I said, but even if I get some weird fucking news, it is what it is. I got to deal with it. You know,
Right.
I would much rather, like I've said it before, I can deal with anything. I just need to know. You know, so
Yeah.
the things that I stop myself from knowing things by being fucking lazy or stubborn or whatever the fuck I want to call myself, by not doing these things. But yeah, all said and done. The main thing though is I set an appointment for next Thursday. That's the first day I could get in. Start getting this leg looked at. But yeah, I've got to get that taken care of.
Yes,
Once
you do.
again, you know, it's not hurting me, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, I've tried everything. I've tried all these different bandages and treatments and whatever they got to do, they got to fix it.
Right.
So there.
All right.
So yeah. We'll see where I'm at in a couple of weeks from now. When I come back, I'm like, holy shit, this is all the fucking shit they found out. Oh well, let's see if what I just said now holds true. That I guess I'll
Right.
fucking deal with it. Which again, I mean, what the fuck am I going to do, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right. So I think I have a couple of articles. So here's the other thing. The other night, with all this stuff going on, I get this. I'm getting all these fucking random text messages. I'm getting it from Walgreens. I'm getting it from the doctor's office. I'm getting a text message about the Cologuard thing. So I get all these things, and I mean, you can obviously delete a whole thread of these. I don't have to go in individually text. I can just delete the whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I ended up somehow deleting my text messages, my own. And because I do that, I'll save things like articles that I read on here. I text myself. I've done it with certain login information. I think I had like Kathy's garage code in there, just little things like that. Just when I'm at Airbnbs, I'll put the door code and whatever in there. But I went to text something. Oh yeah, when I was downloading our episode clip, I text the episode clip and send it in a text message, and I look and there's nothing else in there. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? So I deleted all my text messages. Hopefully there was nothing in there as too important, but
Yeah.
all said and done now, I've got some new articles in here. Okay, so there's 4 of them. I'm gonna read just through what the titles are, and you tell me what ones you want, and maybe we'll do a couple or whatever we want. Okay.
All right.
7 words fake smart people love to use every day or in everyday conversation. That's one. Humans aren't built to remember everything. That's kind of funny. 5 tips to remember important stuff. There are 7 signs a man is just going through the motions but not really living life. And then 10 phrases people with below average social skills use in daily conversations. So what's your number one?
You know what? The first one intrigued
The
me
fake
the
smart
most.
people?
Yep.
All right, so these are 7 words that fake smart people love to use in everyday conversations, says psychology. There's a thin line between intelligence and pretentiousness. I believe you know that. Being smart is more than just big fancy words, blah, blah, blah. So, oh my God. Right off the bat. Again, I did not read these. So again, these are phrases that people use that, let's read this title again. Fake smart people love to use.
Yes.
Number 1, actually. There's something about the word actually that screams pretentious when it's not used sparingly. I use that in words. I use that on paper. I use that all the time.
Actually, do you?
I do. I actually do. And sometimes when the thing I don't notice it when I'm talking, but when I'm writing or texting or that sort of thing, I'll see it in a sentence or I'll see it in like a paragraph a couple of times, and then it's glaring and I'll remove it. But yeah, I use it quite a bit. This one I fucking hate. Number 2, irregardless.
No such word.
I know. The infamous irregardless. Now, this is a word that I've heard misused far too often, everyday conversation, blah, blah, because it isn't. I mean, there's no, it
It's
says
not a
it's
word.
it says irregardless is a non-standard word, often used incorrectly in place of regardless. Yeah, it's just fucking stupid.
Right.
Number 3, paradigm.
Mm.
Ever found yourself in a conversation where someone throws in the word paradigm? I don't know that I have.
Well.
and leaves you scratching your head. Now, we both are right now. Paradigm is a word that sounds complex and intelligent, making it favorites amongst those wanting to appear intelligent or intellectual.
Right.
Was that? Oh, number 4, quantum. That was a TV show.
Yeah, if you leap, yes.
Right. Okay. I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, this is kind of funny because this is the name of Rob Lowe's podcast. Number 5, literally.
Literally.
Literally is another word that's often misused in everyday conversation. Fake smart people literally intensify their statements.
You have to say it like that, though. You have to say literally.
Yeah, I do sometimes just fucking around because of Rob Lowe. Per se.
And
Oh,
that
sorry, go
word,
ahead.
anyway, no, that word, when Marin had Ted Danson on, like, yeah, like it was a few years ago, definitely, 5 years ago, whatever. But yes, he used that way too much. And every time he did, he said literally.
Yep.
And it got on my nerves.
So I listened to I can't remember what their Ted and Woody Harrelson have one. It's called I think it's called Where Everyone Knows Your Name or something like that. Whatever. It's a Cheers based thing. But him and Woody Harrelson, but it's basically Ted Dance's podcast, but Woody shows up every once in a while.
All right. Sounds about right.
Yeah, but I mean Ted Danson, it's his L's that he says like he just really enunciates or say
right
because he'll do the voiceovers for he'll voice the commercials that they have, and it drives me fucking nuts. Even sometimes listening to him, he really enunciates the words. So yeah, I agree with you right there with you. Ted Danson, shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
Per se is an interesting phrase. Ostensibly, it's meant to clarify a statement or add a stipulation, blah, blah, blah. Per se. Here's one. Ergo. Yeah, ergo. Yeah. So say, I'm just going to fucking walk away. Ergo often feels forced and inauthentic in everyday conversation. Agreed.
Often. How about always?
Literally. It literally does.
Absolutely.
So that was the 7. So
okay.
Now the main one that actually is that's the only one that I use. So maybe I'm not trying to be too fake smart.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. 1 out of 7's not bad.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so too. What's the percentage on that? Less than 30%. 20 whatever.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. 15 whatever maybe. 15 whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do one more. The humans aren't built to remember everything, or 7 signs a man is just going through the motions. Let's do that one.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that one. Yeah, let's go through the fucking motions and do that one.
All right. Yeah. Let's be part of the article. Okay. Title again: 7 signs a man is just going through the motions, but not really living life. Okay. Start off. Ever ponder or view somebody you know going through the motions, blah blah blah. Did we do this? Living in the past or future. First off, the key signs that a man might be merely going through the motions, constantly dwelling on the past or obsessing over the future. So we don't do either one of those.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Not anymore. We're told not to. A book told us not to.
Yes.
Lack of passion and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, maybe neither one of us anymore. I guess I'm more enthusiastic than you are under certain circumstances.
Right.
I don't know about more passionate, but I think passion and enthusiasm, they don't necessarily have to be, well, maybe there's degrees of. We don't necessarily have to be. We don't necessarily have to be, bouncing off the fucking walls to show our enthusiasm or our passionate things. So I don't know. I mean, it says each day felt like a carbon copy of the last. The mic light began to dwindle. Blah blah blah. Okay. Number 3, constant state of distraction. So, has anyone listened to the podcast? Have you stuck around for 173 episodes? Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're just. I know for a fact we're not going through the motions, because if we were just going through the motions with this, we wouldn't do it.
Right.
So that much I know. This is one. Thankfully, I think I can speak for both of us right out the bat and say neither one of us are doing this today. Neglected personal relationships.
No.
Used to.
Oh yeah. Right.
All the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Every fucking relationship.
Yeah.
So here's the funny part. This one came up: lack of self-care. So one of the lists we read a few weeks ago, this is kind of it seems like an overlap because I think we had the lack of self-care thing in there too. But
Mhm.
another sign that a man might be just going through the motions, lack of self-care, something I've noticed himself, blah blah blah. Same thing. I mean, I don't consider either one of us lacking in self-care, right?
No, no. I take time out every day to make myself a little bit better.
Yeah, and even make your bed.
Right. Yeah, that too.
Number 6, overemphasis on success and achievement.
Nope.
Yeah, really. Because it says this point might seem counterintuitive. Overemphasis on success could indicate someone is just going through the motions. How? Achievement oriented, not uncommon to a success with well lived life. Oh, okay, I guess. Yeah, if you wanted to kind of pump yourself up in somebody else's
Right.
eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Right. No. Well, here I am. This is
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Exactly. The things that I'm proud of, I'm happy to talk about. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that I don't think I'm looking necessarily for a pat on the back.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes we try to get more people to listen to this fucking garbage.
Well,
But,
that'd be nice. But yeah.
yeah, but we're not asking for a pat on the back
No.
necessarily. Number 7, absence of joy. A clear sign that a man is just going through the motions, noticeable absence of joy. Life feels like never-ending to-do lists, devoid of moments that bring genuine happiness. It's time to reassess. Life isn't meant to be merely endured.
Right.
It's meant to be lived with joy and enthusiasm.
Right.
Okay.
Enthusiasms.
Enthusiasms. It's what? It's enthusiasms. Yes, those things. All right. I'm sure there's a couple more in there, but we can save those. I think you know what. I believe that here. This is how we're probably close to done. You ready?
Yep.
That's the papers being straightened up and put back in order.
All right.
Because I think Mike, I think it's your turn.
Oh, that brings me joy.
No need to reassess. Well, you just did reassess, and now you've got joy in your life because
I have
we've
joy.
done enough fucking work for a Thursday night. I think.
Yeah, I believe so. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. So always be kind to each other, be good to each other, indulge in a little self-care, do something nice for somebody else this week, and don't tell anybody you did it. Now, from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul, from the beginning of time until the ends of the earth, always and eternally, fuck you. Now it's time, kids. It's time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off till you get to a gate with a sign on it saying, "You cannot fuck off past here." Ha! Climb over that gate. Dream the impossible dream. And keep fucking off forever.
I think that was rock solid fucking proof that you have joy and enthusiasm in your life, Mike.
Enthusiasms.
Enthusiasms. But no, I like that. When you laughed in the face of before you could climb over that gate. You laughed.
I
Laughed
did.
out loud.
I did.
And we have a guest next week. I was going to say you've got a golf outing to go to this weekend, but
I
we'll have to do a wrap up on that. Christ, in July, because we've got our friend the priest, Bill W. the priest, next week, and then Kate. I confirmed with her today. Kate's set for the 27th. So. Yeah, we got a couple of weeks coming up for everyone who's getting sick and fucking tired of our bullshit, of just our bullshit.
Right. Trust us, there'll still be some bullshit involved, and it'll be ours, but we'll have someone to share it with.
Yeah, and of all things, next week it's with a priest.
Yay!
Do we have to be good? I don't even know. Do we have to be better? I guess we'll do the same thing that
I gotta be me. I gotta be me.
Let's do the same thing we do with everyone else. But just kind of ease into it, see how good old Father Bill W is, and then go from there.
Right.
Hey, his goddamn fault. He wanted to come on here. Sorry, Father, for we have sinned.
Yes, we have.
All right, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And now it is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.